Wednesday of every month. It's 106 right now. We got a full check on the forecast coming up here. Fun egg topics and a fun guest coming up on the show. We'll tease that in just a moment. Meteorologist Justin Storm with Ag Director Bridgette Readel and Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysocki. Guys, how's it going today?
Good.
It's a dandy cookie Wednesday.
It's a cookie Wednesday, and it's good. You go.
I've had several. Thank you, Bonnie Amistadi. I'll have another one.
Yes, the chocolate dipped Oreos are very delicious. Really appreciate those, Bonnie. See what we got coming up on the show today. We got a few ag topics that we're going to try to get to, and that would be glow-in-the-dark soybeans, believe it or not. That's one of the topics that we'll be hitting on today. Also, field view, and is that Cambian?
Combine. Combine with a Y. Combine.
You spelled combine wrong.
We did, but that's the way the app spells it.
Oh, my goodness.
You know he can't spell.
None of
I
us
can
can
barely
spell.
read, and you're going to try and write words
So,
wrong?
We type
You make
messages.
me sounding stupid over here.
Yeah, we type messages to each other all the time in the background, like, what's coming up next, who's going to out a segment, that kind of thing. And because we type so fast, spelling is completely inaccurate. So you'd better just hope you know what somebody means.
And the other thing is, too, it's one of Dean's biggest pet peeves is
So,
misspelt words.
It's not like we do it on purpose.
So
then.
we totally don't do it on purpose
No.
to get under Dean's skin.
No.
So if you have any weather questions, you can misspell those to weather@flagfamily.com, or you can call in on the Red Wing Shoes phone line. That's 701-293-9000. Ag-related emails, ag@flagfamily.com. Also, comment boxes are live over there on YouTube and Facebook.
Could you please misspell those emails to Dean phonetically so that it's a challenge? He's got to read them out loud in the weather office to figure out what we're saying.
Have you seen the little, it's a whole paragraph and every single word is spelt wrong. But in there it says as long as the first letter and the last letter are correct, the brain can actually process and read it correctly. And the further on you get, these words are just jacked. And once you get halfway through, you're reading it like it's not even misspelt at all.
Listen, dude, that was like my senior project in college. What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know what you did back then.
Exactly. Okay, so do you want to talk about what that is? Why combine is spelled wrong?
Yeah, let's hit the combine real quick. The combine.
Okay, because there's more to come as far as what's happening ag-wise. Climate Field View, which is actually a farming product from company Bayer, which is a German-based company, but they do a lot of business in the U.S. in seed chemistry technology. Yeah, actually,
Bayer.
Similar company, Bayer. And which, side note, Bayer used to own a product called heroin, but nobody liked the name, so they named it aspirin, and then it became a headache remedy.
Really?
Yeah, that's a fun fact. We'll get to that another time. But Climate Field View.
People saying, hey, do you got any heroin almost was a normal thing.
Almost was a normal thing.
Wow.
Maybe aspirin would have been the
now
illicit
it's just
drug.
a bad thing. Hey, man, you got any aspirin?
It is time for you to find that out on ChatGPT. Get to searching over there. So Field View is going to, what it does is it provides you with all your agronomic data from seeding all the way through harvest. There is a crop marketing and record keeping tool out there called Combine, Combyne, just kind of like those great big machines that Dean learned how to drive this year. By putting them together, Combine's platform now brings actual in-field data from Field View. So you get a really accurate picture of your harvest totals, projections that you want to do. Now you can also manage your grain trade documents in one place, contractual agreements, delivery status, how many soybeans are you sitting on at the elevator in a storage position, do some cash flowing from it, etc. So a new way to bring those two technologies together. When I hear what Combine does, I feel it's a little bit like Bushel, which is local here, but Bushel comes at it from the retailer's perspective. So if you're the grain elevator, you work with Bushel, whereas Combine and Field View are from the farmer perspective. So hopefully they all talk to each other, because I don't think there's many things more annoying than when you get new software and none of it interacts. I'm sure that never happens in weather when you look at all the models like the European, the U.S. model, et cetera. They're always the same, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Everything goes together really well.
Yeah, they're always the same.
Or at least they try to be.
They're never the same.
What's the weather going to do today? It seemed nice when I came in. I'm not even wearing gloves today.
Or a jacket, really.
I wear a jacket for right now.
It's hot.
It's beautiful out. Temperatures in the upper 40s right now, and already set a record up in Grand Forks this afternoon. We're not going to set a record here, but it's still going to be mild. with temperatures climbing. We're in the upper 40s right now. Should make it into the low 50s this afternoon. With those south winds about 10 to 20 tonight, down into the lower 30s, courtesy of the south winds keeping us on the milder side. And for tomorrow, record setting, I believe, here. We should have a high right around 54. Not bad. Clipper system comes by on Friday. We'll have early high in the 40s, falling into the 30s, and then windy conditions develop.
Tomorrow?
Friday.
Oh.
As we head into Friday afternoon, Friday night, and Saturday morning. Looks like we'll see some snow mixing in with the wind, and so we could have
How much snow?
an inch or less. We're not looking at...
Okay.
But you factor in 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds with that. It could get a little tricky Friday night, Saturday morning here.
So what you're saying is it's going to be a bad hair day, and that's going to be like the stinging, pelting snow that hits
I don't
you
have
in
to
the
worry
head.
about that, but for you, probably.
Yeah, those
Got it.
amounts actually look like they might get a little higher as you go more towards Canada.
Yeah, if you're going into Canada,
If you go
southern
north
Canada,
and
they're getting,
northwest,
they
you'll
will
get
get quite
higher
a bit of
amounts.
snow out of this.
If you're planning hockey night in Canada, people, it's going to get messy.
So, Bridgette, the ultimate question:
Are you going
to
Canada?
Winnipeg on Friday or Saturday?
I am not going to Winnipeg on Friday or Saturday. I
about
am
Thursday?
in early January, so mark your calendars for that, people. We know what that'll do.
Do you know what day?
January 10th.
January 10th. I just have to look at this just
Go ahead.
because.
I was doing, as we did our weather special yesterday, I was overlapping my travel dates with what you guys were talking about.
Oh, what do you know?
Pretty spot on.
10th and 11th of January.
Uh-huh.
Big old box.
Things are happening. And the further north, the worse it gets. So thank you so much, LRC.
Where are you going after that? What's your next big one?
I am just afraid to tell people where I'll be.
Let me guess. You're going to be traveling on the 24th of January too?
Yes, but I'll already be like gone. So that's going to
Okay.
happen while I'm not here. Good grief.
Right on.
It's awful. I don't even know if I want to ask you guys weather dates anymore.
Don't.
I think we can just guess when you're traveling
I
at
think we
this
know.
point.
I think we know. But it will be better than last year, right?
That is for sure.
Okay, there we
Yes.
go.
Much better.
All right. So, Justin, you thought the glow-in-the-dark soybeans was pretty wild, right?
It sounds wild.
Okay. Do y'all remember when being down at Hefty's Field Day in Baltic, South Dakota, and John Deere's got a sprayer out
Yeah,
there?
I remember almost dying of heat stroke.
Yeah, it was a little warm, and you're kind of a fragile redhead over there. We got to keep you shaded and watered.
Yeah, we about fell 2 people.
Yeah, that
on,
was rough.
that day.
Well, maybe you should drink more water.
Oh, why don't you go run a few miles?
We'll talk health tips later. Okay, so John Deere's got a sprayer. It's called the See and Spray. And this thing, and when I say that, it sounds a little like that toy we all had, like the See and Talk, the big round thing that you pulled the string and it spun around.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Okay, the See and Spray is a great big sprayer.
The horse says.
That one. And on every nozzle body, there are 3 cameras around that nozzle. So the cameras are identifying what's in the field as far as, is this a weed or is this like my soybean or corn crop? And it knows to target spray those individual things as it goes down the field, right? It's pulsating, making these decisions within just split seconds. With that sprayer technology, John Deere is partnering with Syngenta Ag with their seed technology, and they're going to put a glow-in-the-dark genetic marker in soybeans so that if the soybean plant is being affected by a fungi, like let's say white mold, and when that happens, the plant will emit glow-in-the-dark sensory so that when the sprayer is going down the field, it recognizes that and can spray
That is
plants
wild.
as it goes. That's essentially what it's going to happen.
That is, wow.
Yeah. So
Is that already, is this still in development?
this is in development. This is what they are partnering with, and they're talking about. You know, we lose 11% of our U.S. crop to disease every year. And again, that See and Spray sprayer, as well as the seed, is going to go to their most prevalent crops. So it'll go to corn and soybean first. After that, we could see it branch out potentially into things like cotton, wheat, but they're going to start with soybeans and move into other markets.
So basically, it gets hit with a fungus or maybe disease, but you said fungus.
Yes, disease.
And then it like bioluminates.
Yes, bioluminates.
It just glows at night.
Yeah, like a starfish that glows.
Yeah, or like a little angler fish with a little thing from Nemo.
Yeah,
He's like, just keep
that thing.
swimming.
But often we spray during the day. So my guess is, as the cameras are picking up that marker, it's not just like glowing at night. That the cameras can pick it up during the day. It's
Either
emitting a light.
that or you will have to spray dusk, night, dawn.
Dusk I could see, dawn I could see. It's going to depend on your weather conditions, right? If you have a heavy dew, you try to avoid spraying because you want to make sure to penetrate the dew to get the fungicide on the plant. The other thing that matters is this would show you disease before you started to see yield loss. Because right now with white mold, once you see white mold, holy cow, I got it. I got to spray like right this minute kind of thing. So this could help us be a little bit more preemptive earlier
so you'd be able to act sooner.
Sooner, yes.
More along the lines of you can treat when you know you got it versus treating after you're seeing the symptoms.
Likely so, yes.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah.
What if people glowed in the dark when they were sick?
How do you know you don't?
Well, I was just sick and I wasn't glowing.
Ask your wife. Maybe you did.
Yeah.
How bad was his fever? Well, his head was emitting a bright light, so that might have been the fever.
Never really had much of a fever.
So it's
Look
all
at that.
possible.
Very interesting. Well, let's see. What do we got coming up? We have a guest coming up that's going to be
do.
Jody. She's the director from Workamper News.
Yep,
Is
Jody
that correct?
DuQuette, executive director for Workamper News. Okay, this is the reason I called Jody to be on the show. Everyone has a labor shortage. Jody with Workamper News has folks that are, let's call them semi-retired professionals who travel the U.S. and Canada in RVs and want to work short-term stints. If you as a farmer in agribusiness need skilled labor for short-term like fall or spring, maybe this is an opportunity for you. So I'm very curious how this works, how she gets people involved. Ag may not be the most prevalent industry that people are participating in, but what if it is, right? Think about how nice our fall was here and how many people wouldn't mind hanging around for a few months to earn a little bit of money before they go somewhere else.
I'm all about those little part-time, no long commitment little side gigs. Work for like 10 days and get a nice little paycheck.
We just talked about your property tax, so you may be living in an RV down by the river before long.
It very well might be happening pretty soon with the way that they're bumping it up there in Grand Forks. Holy moly, I got choice words on that.
Don't do them now.
It's about as bad as here.
Take it.
It's worse.
I think it is worse up there than it is here.
Let's have those words when we're off air. And then when we come back, just a few moments, stick with us. We'll have Jody DuQuette, Executive Director with Workamper News.
Fats and feeders are sharply lower. For the American Ag Network, I'm Richard Risvet with this market update. Live cattle futures have led the market lower today, with February futures setting the tone for the morning market losses. These price moves have evaporated any price support seen yesterday, and if prices continue to hold at current levels, this would establish new multi-month lows in the complex and add even more weakness to the entire complex. The continued weakness in market technical factors is limiting buyer interest from stepping back into the complex heading into the end of the year. Cash cattle trade has started to develop today, with live deals in the South seen at $171 per hundredweight. This is steady with the very light scatter trade yesterday, but $3 lower than last week's weighted average. Northern trade is seen at $271 dressed basis. These prices are steady to weak from the limited sales yesterday, but $4 below last week's average. Although more trade is still expected to develop through this week, the overall softness in the entire market could mean the overall price tone for the week may be set at this point. Asking prices on cattle still available remain near last week's price levels at $275 dressed and $175 live basis. Boxed beef prices are mixed. Choice down $231 and select up $58 with a movement of 130 loads. We'll get a look at the livestock numbers next. You're listening to the American Ag Network.
Non-attorney paid spokesperson. Could your house go into foreclosure? Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Does it seem like the bank has no interest in helping you save your home? And you feel like you have nowhere to turn for help? Then we have good news for you. Foreclosure Protection Services can help save your home, as they specialize in foreclosure assistance. That's all they do. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, being threatened with foreclosure, have been denied a loan modification, or been the victim of a predatory loan, it's critical that you call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-926-1701. Their network of attorneys and their agents are available to speak to you now. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, Foreclosure Protection Services can help stop the foreclosure process. Call today before it's too late. New laws are in effect that may save your home. Call Foreclosure Protection Services now at 800-926-1701. 800-926-1701. That's 800-926-1701.
Let's get a look at the livestock numbers. Live cattle December down 517 at 163.32. February down 602 at 162.95. April down 560 at 165.90. And the June live cattle, they're down 465 at 163.20. Feeders January down 505 at 209.65. March down 627 at 211.20. Lean hogs December up 50 cents at 67.32. February down 27 at 69.07. And the April lean hogs, they're down 45 at 75.65. The Dow is up about 40 points. The dollar sits at 104.0, with crude oil trading down about $2.50 at just under $70 a barrel. For the American Ag Network, I'm Richard Ristvet.
Weather and Ag in Focus on WDAY Radio.
Thank you for joining us here on WDAY Radio, Weather and Ag in Focus. Legacy Plumbing and Heating is partnering with us here at WDAY for Warm Heart, Warm Home. If you have a family in mind that could benefit from a new furnace this winter, please go to our website, click on the Hot Links button, and give a nomination for someone who lives in Cass or Clay County. You only have the ability to do that through this week. So by Friday, this competition ends, and a winner will be chosen and announced on Bonnie and Friends on Monday. But we want everyone to have a warm heart and a warm home for this holiday season. So again, don't forget to join us and Legacy Plumbing for those nominations. I am excited to talk to our guest today. I love anytime we have a guest, but this is going to be kind of unique. Jody DuQuette is the executive director with Workamper News. And I think when I called Jody about doing this, she probably thought, what? So Jody, let's just start out with, tell us who you are and what you do and what is Workamper News?
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on and talk about this interesting niche that's actually been out there for at least 37 years now, if not longer. So as you guys were saying, I'm with Workamper News, and we are the original entity that created this whole term work camping and kind of started the organization of the community back in 1987. Myself and my husband, we run Workamper News now. It's been my family's business for about 17 or 18 years. We acquired it from the original couple that started Workamper News back in 1987. But basically our premise is we want to help people who live and travel in RVs find jobs and opportunities around the country to help them support their RV lifestyle. I know there's, a lot of cool hashtag van life and stuff that's out there now. And so a lot of people think, oh, if I go and live on the road, it's going to be so cheap and, less expensive and easier. And that's not always the case.
Not at $4 a gallon gas.
That's right.
Exactly. And, living on the road and traveling is wonderful, whether you're a solo, a couple, a family. Lots of families are road schooling now. And instead of just learning about stuff in their history and travel books, they're actually physically going to those places and having the lessons on site of, the battlefields and, all the other different cool historical and educational opportunities that are out there. So anyway, there are part-time, full-time positions all around the United States in a lot of different industries now as well, that work campers can get involved in to just kind of either take some of the costs away from travel or even put some money in their pocket as they're doing so.
Okay, this is wild. I've been writing notes as we've been thinking, because I think to myself, how do people get started, right? What have they told you the story of why I decided to sell my house and live in a camper and do this type of thing? What are some of the reasons that folks might want to be trying? Okay, yeah, you in the van by the river, right there.
For sure. Yeah. I think a lot of it is just, so many of us grow up and we get to do vacations here and there. We get to go for a weekend or go for a week and go see something cool like Yellowstone or Mount Rushmore, or go visit the Everglades and, see some fall colors in the Northwest. Well, what if you got to do that all the time, and spend 3 months, 6 months, 8 months somewhere? You really get integrated into the community. You get to see a lot more and experience a lot more. So Work campers have different travel styles. Some like to move around a little more frequently. Others, maybe travel with the seasons, or they go to one place one part of the year because they got grandkids there, and then they go up to this other place because their sister's up there. Or so everybody's travel style is a little bit differently, and their reasons for starting it can be different as well. So whether it's motivated by, financial situations or just a desire to travel, and everything in between, really.
And Jody, what's the age group, like the main age group that is doing this right now? Is this a
Sure.
is this a retiree thing, or?
Mostly,
Okay.
yeah. And that's sort of when people think of work campers, they typically think of the retiree. And that's mostly the case. Most work campers are, over the age of 55. But certainly we've seen more folks coming into the lifestyle who are younger, maybe more in their 20s, 30s, 40s. And I know there are work campers that are just starting out on this lifestyle in their 70s.
Wow.
So there's no, wrong age for this lifestyle, as long as you can, find the RV that you're comfortable handling and find opportunities that support your, budgetary needs and what you're capable of, what you want to do, etc. So there's really no age limit here. And anybody should do it if they want to try it.
Are they integrating this into social media? And the reason I ask is I know somebody, and she bought like one of those VW vans, like the old hippie vans from back in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, the 23 window van.
And she has a huge following on social media, just traveling all over the country. Are they integrating this into social media as well to get a following and maybe make money that way?
For sure. Yeah. So for us, in like our definition of work camping is any kind of part-time or full-time work while living in an RV. So it's not necessarily just going to a campground and working in a campground, or, working for a farmer, helping with their harvest or whatnot. It can be running your own business out of your RV. There are some folks who have taken their careers, whatever they were doing before, and transitioned it to the RV lifestyle. Especially as we saw with COVID, so many folks transitioned their jobs to working at home, and some just never went back to the office. So then that meant, well, I can do this job anywhere, and I'm going to. And they started, running around the country. So, you totally, there are some folks who do pretty well, making the videos and the content and stuff like that. But that's a very rigorous, constant, never ending, type of endeavor to get yourself into. So I certainly wouldn't say that it's a top opportunity for folks to make money while living on the road, being a social media influencer. I think that's a little more of a, needle in a haystack kind of situation.
So what kind of jobs are you helping people in these lifestyles find where we're, these little short-term things, whether or not it's for a few days or maybe a couple of months? What are these jobs looking like for these different age groups that they're able to do?
Yeah. So the majority of opportunities are in what I would call the outdoor hospitality industry. So you see a lot of RV parks, campgrounds, and whether, those might be the 55 plus resorts that you see in the South where, hundreds of RV sites, and they've got pools and activities and events and concerts, and, it's like a little city in a resort, all the way down to a Forest Service campground in the middle of nowhere with 20 sites and no utilities. So all sorts of RV parks and campgrounds, every kind of type. But it also includes like tour companies, like there's, Jeep tour companies in like Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. They hire work campers to help schedule tours and organize the guests. Kayaking tours, in Glacier National Park, they're very famous for their red tour buses that you see driving up and down the roads. That's a concessionaire called Xanterra in the national park. They hire work campers to drive the tour buses or work in the lodges there. A lot of the national parks have those concessionaires that operate like the general stores, the fuel centers, the lodging, the restaurants, etc. Many of those entities hire work campers. There are also amusement parks, And some other kind of unique stuff, if folks do want to like travel around more, there are some kind of sales opportunities available. If folks would be interested in selling like the advertisements that go in campground maps, that's been a long running opportunity. There's just so many. With volunteering, it can get, a little more interesting and kind of work some of your hobbies into it as well. So there's just a lot of stuff. I could spend all day just going through a list.
Well, I think we're going to have to learn how people even add something onto the site to get people to come in and do some work. And we got to hit bottom of the hour news here, Jody. So we'll get all that answered and more when we come back. And if you listening, you have a question you want to ask, feel free to give us a call on the Red Wing Shoes phone line. That's 701-293-9000. Emails to the program or weather or ag at flagfamily.com, as well as comment boxes available on Facebook and YouTube Live. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
My life was destructive. My life was empty. I was pregnant and alone. My name is Kirsten, and the Perry Center showed me I belonged. I immediately felt at home. The Perry Center provided me with structure and helped strengthen me as a mother. I am crushing my goals and finally excited for my future. The Perry Center gives women opportunities to learn life skills and build confidence knowing who they are in Christ. Would you support women like me at your local maternity home by going to perrycenter.org? That's perrycenter.org.
From the WDAY News Center, I'm Tom Tucker. It's time for your Flag News Update. The ballot measure put before Fargo voters Tuesday to raise public funding for improvements and expansion at the Fargo Dome has failed.
It's been a long campaign, and we worked hard and thought we got a good message out there, had a good project put together. But we all knew that 60% hurdle is a tough one to get to. I don't care what you're voting on.
Doug Restemeyer, co-chair of the Fargo Dome Reimagine Committee, reacted following the final vote tally. The measure needed 60% approval to pass. Of the nearly 8,000 ballots that were cast, 52% were yes votes. Fargo Mayor Tim Mahoney says the Fargo Dome remains in need of upgrades. One man is injured following a house fire in Moorhead. Firefighters were called to the scene along 16th Street North around 4 o'clock Tuesday afternoon. The fire melted a connector for a power line, causing the line to fall. The occupant of the home was taken to a hospital to be treated for injuries. And the International Ice Hockey Federation is making neck guards mandatory for players at all levels. This comes after the tragic death of Adam Johnson, a hockey player from Minnesota. I'm Tom Tucker with The Flag at AM1100theflag.com. First with news when you need to know.
This holiday season, Wimmer's Diamonds is sure to bring the sparkle of the season to your gathering. Hello, this is Aaron Wimmer, and I am sure we have the perfect piece for everyone on your nice list. Whether it be exquisite diamonds, colored gemstones, or fine jewelry, we will help you select that perfect gift to express your love. And no need to stress about wrapping it, we've got you covered. Visit us this holiday season at Wimmer's, where holiday dreams come true. Online at wimmersdiamonds.com.
This is Mark Wagner at ND Estate Services. I want to thank all the listeners out there and just really wishing you a very Merry Christmas. God bless you. Have a Happy New Year. Encouraging you to give your family the gift of avoiding probate at death, eliminating legal guardianship when you're incapacitated, saving taxes, protecting their inheritance. Find out more at ndestateservices.com. 701-318-0908.
Has the bear market devastated your portfolio? If you're tired of financial salespeople who just sell you a product and move on, then it's time to call Collins & Kronk today. See how they're different. At Collins & Kronk, they start with a plan and a strategy, then proactively manage your money to meet your goals. Call the team at Collins & Kronk, 701-235-0119. That's 701-235-0119. Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA SIPC. Collins & Kronk is not a broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services.
This is Weather and Ag in Focus with Bridgette Readel, Justin Storm, and Dean Wysocki.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. We are so excited to have with us Jody DuQuette. She is the Executive Director of Workamper News. And All right, Jody. Still questions to pepper you and ideas to suggest, because what we're talking about
Awesome.
the whole premise of what we're talking about today with Jody is folks that are, I don't even want to say retired. Some are going to be retired, some are not, but they are traveling the country in recreational vehicles, finding ways to seek shorter term or seasonal employment. And as Jody mentioned prior to the 1:30 hour or 1:30 break, that folks can do this in a variety of industries. And as we were standing around here off air, I thought of a pile of different ways that I could have this being helpful to farmers. I happen to know that American Crystal Sugar uses some of this. There's also a potato grading company that does something similar in this region. But if I'm building a new farm shop and I need some folks that can do construction, they're an electrician, etc., boy, this could be like right up my alley. Jody, are these some of the things that really come to mind for you too?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And most often, as long as an RV site is nearby or could be on site of the work location, then that is likely going to appeal to a wide breadth of RVers out there. Especially, if it is a nice location, like if the farmer has a good, nice piece of property and it's rural and expansive and like comfortable, like that's very appealing than the, domino feeling campgrounds that a lot of these RVers have often experienced in their travels. So absolutely, yes. And work campers come from all walks of life. So there are certainly ones who've been, carpenters, union or non-union, electricians, plumbers. Oh, absolutely. I mean, NASA scientists or stay-at-home moms, like it runs the gamut. So there are definitely folks out there with skills that would be beneficial for a lot of folks.
I didn't know this was this big of a of a thing.
Yeah, and as Jody was talking about, folks coming from those different walks of life. I mean, you decide after you've worked in an industry for 20, 25 years, and there's something different you want to do. What a great opportunity to experience it.
And you get to see the world,
the whole
the country.
Yeah. North America. And all right, so you're out there. You have.
Why are we working here? Justin, we gotta do this.
I was just saying that during the break. I'm like, why am I coming down here to tell you it's gonna be cloudy? I could be across the whole country.
Well, let's say you've
got doing little side gigs here and there and living life.
You have your inner farm kid, right? If you grew up farming, and now you're semi-retired, and you want to drive tractor in the spring, or in the fall you want to drive combine, because Dean, wasn't all that hard to drive the combine.
No, it was nice.
The fall here is actually great. So what an opportunity to bring in people. And would that be hard, Jody? Would that be a hard sell to say, hey, a nice fall in North Dakota, well, it's better than the winter. How would you feel about working here?
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. Treading into that winter months, it might be a little harder to get some RVers, but you can equip your RV for cold weather. There are lots of RVers that have no problem with colder weather. But yes, oftentimes folks enjoy positions, maybe a few days long, but oftentimes month, 2 months, 3 months. A lot of work campers seek opportunities that are even 4 to 6 months in length. So it's kind of just... find out what your needs are, do a little bit of research on the work camping community itself. We have a lot of information on our website, and we're happy to help anyone who would be interested in hiring work campers or becoming a work camper, totally map things out. But if you are wanting to offer opportunities to RVers, you just want to make sure your, compensation is going to be fair, and laying out your expectations and getting a recruiting plan in place so you find the right people. Because work campers, while there are a lot of great ones, there are also some pickles out there, and there can be mismatches that occur. So you want to try to avoid that.
We got a caller on line 1 here. Sandra's calling with a question for you, Jody. Sandra, thanks for calling in. What's your question?
Jody, my question is for those folks that are under Medicare age and have insurances that require them to see a primary doctor in their local or whatever their local area is. How are they dealing with that? Is there any specific insurances that can be used for this type of travel work, or do you not really have anybody that has issues?
Good question.
Yeah, well, I'm not super familiar with like all of the different plans that are out there, so I can't say, oh, the XYZ blah 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 plan is the one. But there is an entity called Nomad Insurance Group, operated by a RVer named Kyle Henson, and he has worked helping RVers find the right type of healthcare plans that will work for them and how they travel. Some folks may schedule their travels so they return to their home base or their domicile once a year or a couple times a year, depending upon what their health needs are. So you might be able to utilize your same insurance. You might need to get a different plan that would cover you outside of your home state. There are also healthcare costs like sharing plans that folks get on. There's one called Healthy Nomads. Healthynomads.org is their website. So there are some options that are out there for covering those kinds of concerns.
Wonderful information. Thanks, Jody.
Yep. Thanks for calling, Sandra.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
That was good. So when you mentioned that about hiring, Jody, you said, there can be some pickles out there, a couple of sour grapes, so to speak. Who does that screening? Do you do that at all, or is that really up to the employer to treat it like a regular hiring process?
Sure. Yeah. Good question. It is up to the employer. We're not an agency. We're not placing people in the positions. We're just not a big enough entity to do that at this point. So yeah, it is on the employer. And with so many different variety of businesses, like, because sometimes you're working for a mom and pop operating a campground, and you would go work directly with the owners, and the owners are doing the hiring and everything, to large entities that have an HR department, and you go through an online application process and you do online interviews, and you don't even meet the people you work with until you get there. So with such a diverse range out there, we don't have the capabilities to do all of the interviewing and understand all the different jobs and what every employer needs and all that stuff. So it is on the employer to do their due diligence on their applicants, and it's on the work campers to research that opportunity thoroughly, get all of the information that they can to make the best decision for themselves. You gotta do some homework on both sides.
And plenty of it. So are there areas of the country that are pretty popular, or are things for work campers really focused around national parks? How do we make
I got a feeling North Dakota's in that top 5.
Well, how do we make the Red River Valley and agro-tourism like the destination for work campers, right?
Right. So that's going to take some work. Just historically.
You're so polite,
North
Jody.
Dakota, it's not that flat.
We're North Dakota. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad unless it's January.
I know. Yeah. What is it? I mean, the Midwest is beautiful, and the North, I think people just they just need to get up there and see, how pretty it is. The Badlands, of course, end up super popular with a lot of folks, lots of opportunities in South Dakota. It's like, just get a little more north, people, up there in North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Michigan's pretty popular, lots of opportunities in Michigan. But I do hear, the little bit we hear from our employers in the Midwest, especially, they have a harder time finding folks for their opportunities. A lot of folks head to the coasts, even in the summer months as well. And then, of course, in the winter months, Arizona, Florida, very popular locations.
Oh, the coast, man, it's still people-y over there. I don't know if I need that.
So many people.
Jody, do you live in an RV and travel mobily as well?
Sure. Sometimes.
Okay.
My husband and I, we've been full-time RVers before, which means we didn't have a sticks and bricks house. But right now we're just part-time RVers. We're on our 3rd RV, I think. So we've definitely lived the lifestyle. We haven't had time to do a lot of the traditional work camping jobs, but we do consider ourselves work campers, because whenever we are traveling in our RV, we're working and operating Work Camper News. So thus we are work campers.
What's been the trend in people taking this up? How has that been trending over the last decade, from say 2010 to today? Is it just slowly increasing, or is this really becoming a pretty big fab?
It's hard to nail that down exactly. We often get journalistic inquiries. Well, how many work campers are there, and how does it compare over the years? But no, I don't think anybody has that information. A, because there are a lot of people who are work campers that don't know that they're work campers.
Oh, sure.
And B, there are people that they work part of the year, but then don't work the rest of the year. So it's really hard to get a number down. But we have seen our membership numbers have stayed pretty consistent over the years. We haven't seen a super huge surge at any certain time. Honestly, I know that sounds strange, but things have stayed pretty consistent. I do think there is more about the RV travel lifestyle out there now, with social media and everything. Of course, I think that has helped spread the idea out quite a bit more. So I do see the demographics expanding more to the younger ages. But I think a lot of people in the younger ages don't know they're work campers or consider themselves work campers. But yeah, in our years, that's just kind of how it's gone. It's stayed pretty consistent.
I would have guessed post-COVID this would have ramped up due to the fact that so many workers found out, hey, I can do my job remote. Why don't we go and do this? Why don't we be work campers? We can work on the road and do a little side gig along with it.
Right.
Oh, I think this
Our
can help
RV
tremendously.
sales definitely increased.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So if folks want to connect with you, Jody, how should they be doing that? And, are you running some social media accounts? You did mention a website, and just kind of people wanting to get involved. Are there some registration or membership fees or anything like that we should be aware of?
Sure, absolutely. So workcamper.com is our online home. However you spell that, you'll find us, but we spell it WORKAMPER.com, workcamper.com. That's our online home. We do have a Facebook page and a Facebook group, Work Camping Today, that you can join. But really the majority of our resources we house on our website. And we have lots of videos and articles. We have a very easy resume builder for work campers to, create a resume and get connected with employers. And we're membership based. So we do have a lot of free resources. Our job listings are all free on a delayed basis if that's all folks are interested in utilizing us for. But we have a minimal membership fee for work campers. It's a yearly fee if they do want to use our more enhanced tools. And it's the same for employers. They can join for free to access some things, but then if they want to really jump in and dig into the good recruiting tools and advertising, there are some costs there, yearly membership and some advertising costs. But it's pretty minimal once folks get in and start utilizing the toolkit. It really makes it a lot easier than just, Googling job listings or going on a Facebook page and saying, somebody give me a job. I want to go work somewhere. That might work for some people, but you got to be proactive. And like we talked about before, just researching and understanding what to ask and what to know about work campers or about what to ask employers. We just want to make sure everyone is finding the right matches and getting on the same page. So you're more likely to have a positive experience and a positive outcome with work campers that you hire. So
I hope your phone lights up with farmers and agribusinesses saying we need the help. That would be fantastic because it's not just on farm. A lot of agribusinesses look for seasonal help through the really nice summer months.
Jody, just before we finish up here, I only got about a minute left of this segment, but can I ask you, what's your favorite part about Work Camper?
Yeah.
It is a pleasure to help people get to live their travel dreams. And the biggest intangible benefit that people find with this lifestyle, whether they're the work camper or the employer, are the relationships that get formed. These people are, making lifelong friends and meeting people that they would have never before met in their life because they're moving themselves around the country or bringing in people from other parts of the country, So that's just really one of the biggest blessings that people can find with this lifestyle.
It's awesome. Well, Jody, thank you very much for taking some time out of your day, sharing this with us, and maybe giving some people around our area a little bit of thought about maybe getting interested in doing this or offering some jobs for people who are even just traveling from coast to coast, stop for a month in North Dakota. You never know.
Well, the Canadians will come south, so they'll come right here to us.
Come down south.
They're
just here for the shopping.
Thank you so much, Jody. And for everyone who's listening, hold on. We will be right back.
Get ready for a heartwarming experience with Legacy Plumbing and Heating. At Legacy, our mission is simple: to provide the best plumbing and heating experience in town, while also being dedicated to serving our community.
You can make a difference today by nominating a family in need for a brand new furnace thanks to Legacy Plumbing and Heating with the Warm Heart, Warm Home Initiative. Visit WDAYradionow.com today and nominate someone in need.
Remember, life flows better with Legacy. Join us in spreading warmth and love this season of giving.
Welton's Tire Service is excited to provide Carrie Webb's second grade class at Lisbon Elementary School with the new book, How Did That Get in My Lunchbox? A story of where our real food comes from. Your friends at Welton's Tire Service know the next generation of farmers is so important to the future of our egg economy. Enjoy the book from the team at Welton's Tire Service, proudly serving the Lisbon area for over 50 years. Stop in at Welton's Tire on Main Street in Lisbon. You'll be glad you did. Online at weltonstire.net.
Ho, 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 your Christmas shopping just got easier. WDAY commemorative Steiger Cougar tractor is now available. This is a 1/32 size tractor, and you can get it just by calling Lamar's Toy Store at 712-546-4305. Your tractor is only one of 150 produced, and you can display a piece of local history with a Steiger Cougar on your shelf.
Hi, Teresa here from the Fargo Red Wing Shoe Store. We're excited to inspire young minds by teaming up with Aurora Elementary School by donating a copy of the book, How Did This Get in My Lunchbox?, to every second grade student. Red Wing Shoes is committed to this community, and we're thrilled to help the next generation learn and grow. Thanks for choosing the Fargo Red Wing Shoe Store, stepping up for our community, one shoe, one book at a time. Red Wing Shoes, Fargo.
Attention, all caring hearts. Ready to make a tangible impact in 2024? It's the Fargo Pack, and the mission is to pack 10 million meals for children in need. Yes, you heard it right, but they can't do it alone. Grab a friend, family member, or colleague and join them January 5th through the 15th. Registration is now open. Head over to fargopack.org and sign up to volunteer or donate. Together, we can pack a punch against hunger. Together, we can feed kids hungry in body and spirit until all are fed.
Did you know medical expenses are the leading cause of bankruptcy? When individuals experience health issues or other trauma, it impacts the entire family. Lost wages make it challenging to keep up with expenses, and holidays create more stress. Many families are faced with difficult choices. Do they fill the prescription or the fridge? What can they go without to bring joy into their homes, especially for the little ones? This holiday season, you can help your neighbors through Holiday Hand Up, a giving event hosted by Lend a Hand Up. Donations made to Holiday Hand Up now through December 15th boost help for many neighbors through one tax-deductible gift. Matching funds are provided by Dakota Medical Foundation, Alex Stern Family Foundation, Gateway Chevrolet, and your Heartland Chevy dealers. To learn about local families participating in this year's giving event and to add your support, go to lendahandup.org. That's lendahandup.org.
West Plains Inc., a certified Case IH dealer, is on the lookout for a dynamic and motivated service manager in Bowman. If you're ready to lead a team, efficiently process repair orders, and contribute to a successful marketing plan, West Plains Inc. wants to hear from you. Enjoy competitive wages, a 401k retirement plan, health, dental, and vision insurance, and more. Email your resume to hr@plainsag.com. West Plains Inc. is proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Weather and Ag in Focus on WDAY Radio.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for rejoining us. It's 1:54 on this nice, warm Wednesday afternoon. We got to check on that forecast because I think people are probably wondering how much warmer is it going to get out there.
It's 62 right now in Mandan.
No way.
That's something.
57 in Jamestown. The warm weather is just to the west of the valley. It's a little cooler in Lakes Country. Temperatures in Lakes Country currently in the low to mid 40s, but the further west you go, the warmer it gets. We're at 49 degrees right now, on our way up to about 54. So a few more degrees before the day is done. And those winds out of the south between 10 and 20. Overnight tonight, only down to about the freezing mark, if not a little bit warmer than that. And I believe that's pretty close to a record for the record warm morning low. And then tomorrow, I do believe we will set a record right around 54 degrees tomorrow as well, with winds out of the south about 10 to 15. So winds not overly strong. The Clipper system comes our way Friday. That will give us... No, we're not going to have fog tonight. Justin just passed me a note. Fog tonight? You spelled 2 wrong.
It's a number. It's not a word.
We'll have that Clipper system come our way on Friday. We'll have highs in the 40s, falling temperatures in the afternoon with a stiff northwest wind developing. We'll get some snow with that Friday night, Saturday morning. It could be a little slippery, a little tricky travel. Not because of the amount of snow, inch or less out of this, but when you factor in 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds Saturday morning, we're looking at some pretty tricky driving, especially the further north you go in the valley.
That's a little brisk. I mean, now you're going to start actually saying wind chills.
Yeah. This weekend will feel more like December.
Okay.
We're not today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow.
So you're telling me there's
pretty
snow
nice.
and wind back in the forecast?
Briefly.
Yes.
Air duct. Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Learn how to drive. Remember how to drive.
Remember how to drive.
Yes.
And also, I just hope y'all got your outside Christmas decorations up because it's not going to be
Has
pleasant
not,
to put them up
Well, you
this
better
weekend.
by now.
I've been meaning
Some
to go
do, some don't.
Really?
buy some
It's
lights.
only the 6th, 7th. What day is it?
Just
The 6th.
haven't gone and bought them yet.
Do you have a Christmas tree up?
Yeah, we have a Christmas tree up.
But no lights up?
No, there's lights on the Christmas tree. Lights on the outside of the house are not up because we don't have lights for outside the house.
See, he hasn't gone shopping yet. He's waiting for a good coupon.
I have a $75 rebate from Menards. Don't ask me how much money I had to spend to get that rebate.
$2 million.
A lot of money.
Now you can go get some lights and
I
hang,
can.
and
I
hang
just
them
have
up.
to go shopping.
Don't forget the little clippy things to hold them on the house.
Ah, yes. I think those are actually still on the house from the prior owners.
Lucky you.
Indeed.
Very nice.
Wow.
Or you could just go
That's why we bought the house, is because the clips were still on it.
You can go the
It's a
lazy
selling
way and put that light out in the front yard that
projection?
illuminates on your house.
We have one of those, too.
I actually have one
$20.
too.
What is that? That surprised me.
But mine is like NDSU buys, and so it's actually perfect for Saturday.
The one that you catch a felony with, that if you point it up.
I can get arrested again for that?
Well, I'm talking about the light projector.
That one, yeah.
Yeah.
Give it to him. I want to see NDSU on his house.
I'm not giving it to him. I'll just go up there and put it on his house.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Your neighbors,
What is
your
this?
neighbors will love you.
An NDSU projection on your garage door.
Oh, that's so kind.
You're welcome.
I'm going to get egged.
Sorry.
Oh, you
Maybe
better
TP.
hide it so I can't find it.
I can't fix everything.
Well,
I've been saying that for years working with him.
you'll never fix it. You can't change people, Dean. You just got to learn how to live with them, all right?
And not correct their
Until
spelling.
they either get fired
Oh,
or
no,
moved
he's gotta
on
correct
to
the
another
spelling.
opportunity in life. I think that's going to wrap it up for the show today, guys. Anyways, so we cut out here a little early and enjoy the rest of the funk. We'll see you all tomorrow.